Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Corey, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. Today, I had an amazing phone call with a client, and really, it's not really my client. It's more of a friend and this is one of those things that I got into this business because I really wanted to make an impact on people's lives. But at the same time, I just didn't want people to be clients where it's just transactional. I really wanted to form relationships with people, with men, and really get them to go to the next level, and we grow together. So that conversation was impactful for me as much as it was for him, in terms of, we were talking about really getting your partner to see themselves in a mirror and really see where they're at fault within the sexless relationship. Now, it takes two for a sexless relationship to happen, and most guys will sort of turn around and say, no, it's her fault, and she's the one with the low libido, she's the one that's saying no, and she's the one that's affecting the marriage. But there's a weird mathematic equation that I have, which doesn't make any sense, but if you can implement, will make the difference. That she might be 99% of the problems, but the 1% that you contribute to the sexless relationship could make the difference with the 99%. So if you resolve that 1%, it would actually transform your entire relationship in a massive way. So this is really important to understand, because most people really shift the blame onto the other person. And if I was speaking to your wife right now or partner, they'll be shifting all the blame towards you. So it's the moment when you can realize, instead of self-reflecting and really deciding that I'm going to fix myself, that's when the real transformation starts happening. And if you think about it in terms from a therapy standpoint or a marriage therapy standpoint, they don't get you to create that momentum individually so you can have a collaborative resolution within the relationship. And this is one of the biggest problems with therapy. But as I was having this conversation, we were talking about the tactical way of having the conversation and then sitting down with your partner and then having that dialogue where they eventually start self-reflecting, so they can actually start getting themselves to think about change. Because it's all well and good to go into therapy, but if your partner thinks that you are absolutely 100% at fault at the problem, that therapy becomes void, becomes pointless. That person has to be open-minded to changing and really wanting to look at their own personal contribution. So part of it is going to be you having that conversation outside of therapy and really leading them to the point where you have that conversation and you can have it in a way that's going to be constructive and collaborative. And what I mean by that is that you probably have tried to have conversations, but it's ended up in an argument, or it's ended up in them resenting you even more, or even turning that screw even more in terms of the divorce screw. So, like in the nail in the coffin, it's just another nail in that divorce coffin. Like every time you have that conversation, because you're not getting anywhere. And a large chunk of it stems back to what we're talking about in the past few episodes, where you have to be completely solid as a person. You gotta have to be neutral within that conversation. You have to be divorced with the outcome. You have to be able to convey your message and then get them to feel heard as you convey your message. And really, the crux of that, what we're talking about, is that you have to have 5% of the conversation and then let them to have 90% of the conversation. The less that you talk and allow them to talk, the more you can accomplish. Now, usually when they talk, they will always put in negativity that's towards you, and really it's to just get you to emotionally rise up. And by you emotionally rising up, it then justifies that you are 99% responsible for the problems. And it's a very weird way, and it's not intentional. This is a thing that these girls have learned from the playground from the age of 3. And I used to do this quite a lot, watching my nieces and my daughter playing, and you could see that a lot of the way they play is interactive. And then over a period of time, as they grow older, they they use shame, and again, this comes from their mothers as well. So they start using shame as a tactical weapon of in conversation. We don't do that because boys are more sort of action oriented. So we play with toys that are cars, video games, and things that are sort of less social, whereas girls they cultivate this social thing over a period of time. And one of the weapon that women use is shame. So they quickly use shame in order to get control of the conversation, because they use that a lot. Next time you listen to women talk, and you see how they use shame. Incredible. So as you're having this conversation, and you're giving her this opportunity to speak, she'll try and make you feel shame so that she can take control of the conversation. And usually at this point, this is where you react with anger, and then it justifies that, oh, you've just emotionally because you just emotionally reacted to this in a negative way. So again, you leave with the conversation feeling like you're the bad guy and you're the one that is the cause of the issue, and really she hasn't got the opportunity to reflect on what she's done in order to contribute. And then again, you're back to square one. So again, if you want to know what we talked about in order to really get a satisfying conversation, a conversation that is going to take you to the next level, go to Thriving Tribesmen in Instagram, and I will show you exactly what you need to do in order to change that conversation. Now, you're probably thinking, this guy is going to charge me some money. I am not going to charge you any money. If it was much, probably I would, but I'm not going to charge you any money. I think next week I am planning to do a masterclass at a Facebook group. So if you, I'll be able to take you through how to have this conversation properly during that Instagram conversation. And then I will invite you to come to our Facebook group, where I'm going to have a masterclass. I'm going to do a masterclass where it's going to be a transformational one. So our program is called Path to Power, and it's an 8-week program which is going to transform your sexless relationship and take you to the next level. So, and again, you can be moving from, a loveless relationship to a fulfilling relationship. And this is what we are trying to achieve. And part of it is going to be having these difficult conversations, but having these difficult conversations that are effective in order to get your partner to start looking in the mirror and seeing where they're at fault, and then also you admitting your own faults, and then collaboratively working together to really resolve this. So this is going to be absolutely powerful. And like I said, all of this time that I'm giving is going to be free until March. And when I say, and the crazy part about it is that I did say this recently, that if you don't come to the masterclass, nothing changes in your life. And if you don't come to the masterclass, I'm still good in my life. I've got an engineering job, pays really well. We're still good. So essentially, really, in terms of, I'm not desperate to get clients. I'm not desperate to get your money. So, but the crazy part about it is that if you don't come, you're still going to pay, whether it's in divorce or you're just going to pay with more heartache. So it's up to you to actually make a decision and do something about it. And you have an opportunity to do something about it. Like, if you don't take me upon what I'm saying, you just want to listen to this podcast, you're welcome. But to really start causing effect, you really need a coach. You need somebody who's going to guide you on how to do this. And the conversation that we had today was me guiding on how you have this conversation effectively. And at the same time, how do you get that person to actually start feeling being heard and really start transforming your relationship. So it's very, very powerful. And this is some of the things I'll be sharing on the masterclass. It's going to be available in that Facebook group. And then I think we'll be available for probably a few days. Then I'll take it down. Again, like I said, that's probably something I'll be charging on a future date as well. So thank you very much for listening. And hopefully I've inspired you to want to come to the call, to our Instagram, and really start getting momentum in your life. And really, really excited to be doing this. And just the phone calls really just invigorate me, and really just, so really, honestly, for those people that have come, I really, really thank you for everything that you're contributing to my life, and hopefully I can do the same for you guys as well. So thank you very much. Take care.